Poison. I'm not selling.
I get a commission?
It's 9:30, 9:32. I'd like to call the hearing. This is a meeting on the hearing of April 7th, 2025. We're going to open it with a few statements. Cynthia is here. So isn't Jean, and I'm Sandra Johansson. Cynthia, do you want to start about not taking his right to vote away from him?
Yes.
I think that when we discussed last week, this was one of the big things from before the election until the present time.
Yes. Our decision is that we sympathize greatly with the respondent's current situation, but we swore an oath to uphold the laws of the state regarding our responsibilities and roles in the maintenance of the voter rolls, in particular in this case. And the respondent, Scott Billhurst, according to the legal definitions, which we can go into in some length, no longer resides in our town of Hopkinton and has not done so since August of 2024. He was not rendered homeless. I'm using his term that he used under oath, his term for his current situation, by any natural disaster which would create some mitigating circumstances. It was his own negligence that created the situation. And we know that he knows the law, and we know that he must abide by the law just as any one of us has to do. We cannot show favoritism, and we must render a decision not based on his intent to eventually live here, but we must give him the right to vote somewhere else by removing him from our voter rolls. If and when he does return to Hopkinton, we will happily reinstate him on our voter rolls, but he must be struck from the rolls now because in another 4 months, it will be a year since he lived in our town.
All right. Now, some of the things that we went into discussion on last week that he was very evasive on was, and it was one of my main concerns because he lived in the house that was uninhabitable.
Disobeying the law.
Disobeying laws. We put into evidence, I think, A through G, and it was all on basically where he was living, where he shouldn't be. There was no running water. There was no sewerage, and it was boarded up. And I got him to say that he went into the house. He's very evasive. He wants to do what he wants to do. And it's, I want this. I don't want to live out of the town of Hopkinton. I'm coming in, that's where I'm coming. I'm trying to get a place to live. He applied to numerous places and didn't fill the applications out right. So as of last week, there was no place that he was going to return to live in this town. It was all, he lived in one place for about 2 weeks, and it was a homeless shelter. He's lived in numerous places. He even went to the state of Connecticut to live. Let's see. He is living in Rhode Island, maybe now, or he was of last week. We have no idea where he's living now. And he doesn't want to hear anything about that he can, that we are not taking his voting rights away, because he can, wherever he is living in the state of Rhode Island, register to vote. Now, let's see what else we got. And we felt as though that Joe Moreau was very credible witness. He brought up the fact, and I think Carolyn, is it Light? Also brought up that many people in the town had tried to help him. It was, and he just wouldn't take the help. They'd asked him, why don't you apply to Canachet? Why don't you do this? No. And when I asked him one question, he said, oh, I asked him why he didn't apply earlier, because he didn't apply till after our first meeting that we had. And that's when he started applying, which he didn't fill the applications out right. And his main thing was, I had 101 things on my mind. And he had, and one of them was mental health.
Yes.
So he did mention mental health, and he was going for help at the time. Now, I don't know whether he still is or not. Let's see. And the witnesses that came forward, I have to say, weren't against, they had tried to help him in many ways. And he just doesn't want help. He wasn't credible. He wants what he wants. And everything else, you know.
But the law is the law.
The law is the law. I don't believe this is a temporary absence, because even if when you apply to these places, sometimes it takes a year to get in. And this will be a year since he's been out of the town, since August 23rd, I believe was the date. So it's got past the point of being temporary. I think we've put everything into my thing is, and this is what I got from that I would like to, we're making a decision on the overall, what went on last, the 7th of April, all right? And the evidence, he did not bring forth enough evidence to be credible and to be believable. I mean, he did everything that we asked him was, I want to be in Hopkinton. Well, you know, we want what we want, but lots of times we can't have it. And he was just very evasive, and I think we've given him a reasonable amount of time. We have postponed meetings, we've postponed the hearing, and if this board is ready to vote, I feel as though if anybody else has got anything else to say, please say it.
Yeah, I believe there's enough evidence that's
Yes, I
been
think it's
from all the,
out there.
the
We've talked
complaint.
about it all.
We've talked about.
It's all a matter of record now.
Right.
And he is free to appeal, but we must make our decision as, under the oaths we took
Right.
to be on the Board of Canvassers.
All right, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to proceed to vote?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor of removing Scott Bill Hurst from the voting records, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You have enough? Are we all set?
Madam Chair, could I confirm that was unanimous in the affirmative?
It was unanimous affirmative.
Okay, I would like to prepare a written decision for you. Would it be possible for you to schedule a special meeting just so that the three of you could get together and confirm whether you would adopt that as your decision?
Sure,
I could have it done by the end of the week.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Okay, because I would just suggest, since, for open meetings rules purposes, you can't all review it separately by email and then respond to me. You would need to get together and have a meeting and vote to just to adopt it as your decision, and then for the chair to sign it. And then that is something that, if there's an appeal taken, that could be transmitted up to the State Board of Elections for them to have a written decision from you, the way that like a trial court judge would prepare a decision, so that the State Board of Elections will see the evidence that you relied on and your findings in the law. And then that would be, I think, would be very helpful for an appeal.
Okay, if you want to tell us exactly when you're done, in the meantime, we will consult our calendars and.
Sure.
Make a decision now.
Now,
For
yeah.
calendar.
Sure, I can put that together and have it ready at some point this week, and I'll transmit that to Marita once I have that written up.
Does he
So-
hear?
Wanna meet Monday, the 20th?
Okay. Let me check my calendar. But he will get the judgment today. Even
Well,
if,
your decision is today. I think that probably the appeal period would start today. I believe it's a 20-day appeal period.
okay, Monday, the 21st is Easter Monday, so maybe,
Yeah, what could we do at the end of this week?
I'm good with the end of it, but the public
At the end
meeting.
of- will you have enough time?
I'm doing that.
No, I know, but you've got to post it.
Yes. we can do it.
Like, we could,
Yeah,
we
the-
could do it Thursday or Friday. If you would have it ready. I'm thinking about the appeals and
Well, sure. I'm taking the rest of the day off today and tomorrow because it's a school break. I'm home with the kids, but I was planning to work on this Wednesday and hopefully have it done by the end of the week. I don't think you need to be in too big of a rush, because I think the appeal period has probably already started as soon as you just voted, and this is really to have your decision prepared to send up to the State Board of Elections, which isn't going to happen instantaneously or anything.
so, well, Easter Monday?
yeah, no, how about,
No.
yeah.
I have family coming into town on Wednesday, and I'd like to, I have things I gotta
It won't
do.
take this week.
No, I know. Can we do it Monday? I mean,
Easter Monday, I can. I don't know if the town is open. You're open. Okay, all right.
the three of us can do it Easter Monday.
Okay, yeah, I'll have it finished and sent over to Marita by the end of the week then.
All right,
Okay,
very good.
9:30? 9:30, good?
And then you can let me know whether you need me to zoom in for your meeting or not that day.
They'll just read your decision, is that correct? The one that they're gonna review it, adopt it, sign it,
What's the
you want
date
them to
on
read
that?
it into the record?
21st.
Yeah. Do you want it read into the record in some evidentiary way?
No, that just I mean I want to draft it up and for the chair to sign it, but for that to happen, I just need the board to vote to say that we adopt this as our decision.
Right.
It's very similar to the way that like you approve like your meeting minutes and things like that.
Okay,
Um,
so we agree that we will meet 9:30 in the morning on Monday, the 21st of April, 2025, to review and sign off on the written legal decision from this board.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank everyone.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you all for your help in this matter, complicated and a bit sad.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I second.
I third it.
Oh, right.
All in favor, aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.